All right, welcome back, guys. This is the GSL Code A here at the Mokdong Studio in Seoul, South Korea. I am Doan. With me is Wolf. You know what? Someone tweeted me on the break about, probes and stuff having souls and, like, being alive and things like that. They're just like, look at Wall-E. And I'm like, Wall-E is, like, one of the greatest examples of human cruelty ever devised. Who would program an inanimate object to feel pain and things like that? Who would do that? What kind of a terrible, monster? Man. Yeah, I just like totally spit as I said that. It's like monster.
Yeah, man. Well, here's the thing. If a robot has feelings, or it's like, can a robot have feelings? If the robot acts the way someone who has feelings has when certain things happen to it, does it really have feelings?
Is it really feeling it? Yeah, or is it just carrying out its programming? Yeah. That's the question.
That's the question. That's one of my favorite philosophical debates.
Yeah.
So I don't know if a probe gets attacked, does it kind of like jerk slightly? Like if a probe...
Does it have like a pain reaction?
Have you noticed that if a probe is sitting stationary and an SCV attacks it, the probe will move away slightly?
That's true.
I think the probe feels something there.
Could be. People are like, wow, Wolf and Door are like really sadistic. We're like back at the Gamma House, like poking probes and stuff like that to see how they react. Like put it in a box with ice cubes.
Well, this is the part where Genius does great force fields but does not blink.
Yeah. Did he
gets lucky here. Look how many Colossi are hit here. You don't want to be hitting the Colossi with the Banelings.
Yeah. Couple Banelings hit a good amount of Stalkers, but in general, yeah, he did pretty well there. You can really see, I think, the strength of the upgrades in this fight as well, because this army just did not die. It just like kept living and living despite everything. And it's part of those fast Protoss upgrades. There goes the Cybernetics core, and that was kind of like the nail in the coffin. Yeah. Can't make any more Stalkers for a really long time. Yep. But look at that. Even after all those Baneling hits, a good amount of Stalkers actually do survive. But he's doing great harassment as well during this attack, but... It kills 2 hatcheries, but it's just too little too late, Absolutely. Everything was just a little bit too late this game for Genius, and that's kind of really what came back to bite him in the end. He botched that timing attack in the beginning as well. If you're going to commit to that, do it the right way. Don't miss your timing. If he was just like going to move forward and scare July then move back, then don't make that second pylon. Just don't make it. Oh, really lucky he didn't lose that Colossus right there. Yeah, I remember that. That was intense. That would have been awkward. And as you can see now, the July 2nd has gone by, and he's just making units to kill his opponent. Yeah. And as July generally does a pretty good job of doing that. Very true. I mean, he just has torrents of units just... They don't stop. He's the ultimate file pirate. Yeah, he is, man. He's got so many torrents. Torrents and torrents of units, man. He's like got really good download speed too. That's right. It's and he like turns, Korea, man. He sets his max upload to 0 kbps, man. He doesn't he's one share of with those anyone. Guys. Oh, I see. His ratio is 0, man. Yeah. Well, nobody's perfect, huh? And so really at this point, that is the end of the game. Yeah, I mean now we just watch like streams of units come across the map and kill Genius until he GG's. Yep. So we'll have to see how Genius does in the up and down matches. At least he's guaranteed a Code A spot next season, when we do have our next season. And he's going to get a chance to get into Code S regardless, just from getting this far in Code A this season. Remember, he has a chance to prove himself, Yeah. He has a chance to look at this and go, well, it was a fluke game, Yeah. I'm sorry, guys, I messed up. And I think that may be the case here. Genius, I expect to play a lot better. PVZ is definitely his worst matchup, but I expected him to play better than he did really here. Yeah, a little bit. Sad. So I think, that's why I love this format, because it's like, okay, you have a bad day. You still have a chance to get in Code S. You don't get a free into Code S. You didn't get to that round where you just get into Code S automatically, but you have another shot to prove yourself. For everyone who's not Code S, this format is actually very, very generous, but let's go ahead and take a look at our next match here. Here we have one of our players. It's going to be a Zerg player, MVP Namonster. MVP Namonster? That doesn't make any sense. No, it's just MVP Monster. He did take out OGS Juke 2, another Zerg 2-0, which is very interesting to note because he is actually going to be playing a ZVZ today. That's very true. Thing is, well, he's going to be playing it against one of what I think is the best ZVZers out there right now. Oh, absolutely, man. Curious knows how to play the short ZVZs. He can play the long ZVZs. Yep. He can play the middle ZVZs. He can. He can play the ZVZs that are just right. He can play ZVZs upside down, backwards, and forwards, man. That's right. He plays ZVZs so well they become like AVAs. He just goes to the other end of the alphabet. Oh my god. Yeah, spends time. Just becomes like two infinity symbols.
Has this look on his face when he's in the booth that's just like, I will crush you. I don't know, I just see him and I'm like, I'm scared of him.
It's like if I was going to cast a hitman for like a mafia movie or something, that's the guy I would want coming through the door with the shotgun.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. You know, and I remember the first time I started to realize this about him, he did an interview, and it was because he won Code, and he was like, I remove my emotions when I sit in that booth, and I was like, oh my god, he's like even creepier than I thought.
You can tell, man, he's like just a stone cold killer. It's like, have you seen the movie A History of Violence?
I've seen parts of that movie, I haven't seen all of it.
Aragorn is afraid of Curious, man. That's how scary Curious is. And I say Aragorn because I actually don't remember the actor's name, so he's just Aragorn to me. Sorry, Aragorn. Well, Curious is looking, he almost looks so calm, but it's like a deadly calm. It's not like a peaceful calm.
He's like, I'm curious as to how I'm going to win this game. He's like, how will I destroy my opponent this time?
It's like he's wondering like what the internal organs of his opponent is going to look like when he splatters them all over the inside of the booth. He just thinks about it scientifically.
Oh man.
Well,
I just like I looked at Curious a little bit differently after I thought about when I cast him in the Code 8 finals, but now I'm looking at him again and I'm like even looking at him even differently now. I'm like, whoa.
Never look at him the same again. It's scary.
I was gonna try to make Monster like a character from Monsters Incorporated, Monsters Inc., but like he's not really like Sully. You know, he's kind of like.
Those aren't really scary monsters either.
No.
They're just kind of lovable little.
He's like a hard worker. He might be Employee of the Month or something like that, but he's not scary.
Well, we'll see just how scary these guys are. Monster versus Curious. Starting up right now, guys. This is the GSL Code. This music this season is so good. Just as good as our awesome sponsors. And here we have our Zerg player from the team MVP. He is known as
MVP Monster.
Original founder of the company that makes all those monster flavored cereals like Cup Chocula. And
got a lot of fans here, surprisingly.
Fruity Yummy Mummy. And yeah, he does have a good amount of fans.
I was just surprised by that. But we gotta do this intro. Don't miss it.
It is.
Stay curious.
That's what you call the Monty Python intro when you just go, it's. They do the announcement.
You see, something interesting to note is Curious is actually just behind in his production. He's doing everything the same, but like he's a few seconds behind.
He's got higher supply, actually.
Oh, I guess I got the production tabs mixed up, but he was just making his drones a few seconds later. It was weird.
Look at those winner predictions. I think that's pretty accurate. It's
I would say that's.
Yeah.
I would have voted for Curious. I'll tell you guys that.
You know, despite Monster's history of winning ZVZ this season in Code A and the fact that he is a good Zerg player, Curious lately has just been looking really, really unstoppable and scary. Oh,
Benny
fans
Pride
from Australia.
Yep.
They were here yesterday too, having a good time. If you guys are in the Seoul, Korea area, or really anywhere in the world, I recommend you just come and stop down by the studio. It's worth it. It's pretty awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I like it.
Well, right now, Curious is taking his front natural. This is Calm Before the Storm, so he could have taken a freebie base in the back. Mm-hmm. But in ZVZ, it's I think it's smart to take that outside base because, yeah, sure, it's a little bit harder to defend, but if you can defend it, you can take your third base so much easier, and you have this cool advantage over your opponent where he's struggling to take his base that's exposed when you have units out.
Well, it's not this. Oh, yeah, he's really going to be putting on the hurt. But, yeah, like you were saying, it's not like it was on Crevasse where taking your lower expansion is like this big risk because of how open it is. It's really narrow on this map, so you can do exactly what Curious is doing, and we've seen Zergs do this before as well.
Yeah.
No reason not to, really. But, yeah, looks like there's going to be a lot of pressure coming from Monster in the future here.
Yeah, he doesn't know where his opponent is located just yet. He's sending Zerglings in all directions to find out.
Yep.
And, yeah, he is just going to pound on the pressure. He found him now. Spine goes down immediately for Curious as a precautionary measure.
Yep.
Curious has no scouting information right now as to what Monster is doing. But he is going to send some units out to find the Banelings.
Oh, he's going to see him too. And,
he actually does not see them.
Now he does.
Now
there
he
they
sees
are.
them.
He knows exactly what's going on. Can he defend the all-in from Monster? Here come the Banelings. A lot more Zerglings behind this as well. And let's see how good Curious's micro is.
Well, he gets that second queen there just in time to block.
Oh, wow. Those Banelings actually are not doing too much at all.
Well, he will be able to take out the spine if he wants to.
Yep.
Trying to sneak by here. Gets
right.
by, but does not really get a whole lot there.
He does get a Zergling in the base, and he doesn't get anything. Doesn't even get one drone.
Yeah.
He's a little bit softened up, but things going okay overall for Curious.
Yeah, units lost is much better for Curious right now. He's lost about 300 less.
Yeah, supplies looking good too. The thing is that Monster is just going to try to keep pumping up units, but with Curious having 2 queens, it shouldn't be an issue at all for him to keep up with this.
No way. I mean, he's got those 2 queens. That was one thing that's going good for Monster.
Kidding.
But he is totally all in right now. Curious has 2 bases. He's got double production. He's got 2 queens. And Monster has to end this game now, or he's done for.
You know, that Baneling hit that killed about half a dozen Zerglings or so for Curious really is going to help out Monster.
Here we go. The Banes might just go for the spines here.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, he's running him right next to him, so even though the target fire is hit that, and
he's trying to break through the queens. He does get 1 queen.
Yeah.
But I think Curious just had barely enough.
Oh, big Baneling hit. He hit it behind the queen. I didn't even know that Baneling was there.
I didn't know it was there either.
Uh-oh.
But even so, you know, I think Curious is going to be fine. He's going to lose a few drones here, but he just has not lost a lot of units.
Yeah, you know, I thought a few more Zerglings got in there for Monster. I thought he was going to be able to pick off a few more drones, but it looks like...
The problem is those spines... Oh, no! Oh!
Man.
The spines are still up. That's the key.
Yeah.
Curious did lose both of his queens, but they're both about to pop. Plus, with it having 2 hatcheries, it's like just even with what Monster has with 1 queen back at home with the 1 hatchery. So it's... You know, he's still in a better position, and Monster's just slowly, like, his attacks are getting weaker and weaker. And
yeah. Yep. And, yeah, those 2 spine crawlers are just in a fantastic position as well. Look at that. Curious adding on a 3rd spine just to say extra safe. Here come the Banelings again. Are they going to sneak right past? They will. Queen trying to pick off some of those. Looks like the Queen on the high ground is going to be lost. And, he takes out a lot of Zerglings with that 1 Baneling.
He just had those Banelings kind of running around doing nothing for a while. Now this 1 Baneling is going to damage a lot of drones.
Oh, yeah, basically getting the maximum hit he can here. That's going to make a lot of those drones really easy to kill.
If he can break through again, though.
Yeah, well, the 3rd spine crawler is almost done, so that might be pretty hard to do.
I think it's going to be almost impossible for him to do, but Curious right now, the worker count is actually in Monster's favor. 14 drones for Monster to 12 of Curious. But he's sneaking more drones out, 2 popping out right now, so he's going to be even. And with those spines there, that's really the reason why he's down on drones, because he lost 3 drones to spines. He hasn't lost any drones otherwise. And here comes the final, I think, attack for Monster. Tanking a little bit with those speedlings.
Oh, so many Banelings getting focused down by those spine crawlers. Only half of them make it through.
Remember, a lot of these drones are heavily damaged from earlier.
This might be enough. Let's find out. Nice drone splitting by Curious. 2 of them getting taken out right there.
Oh, look at that queen block.
Yep. And looks like that queen dies.
A ton of Zerglings going to be taken out here, and Monster may have done it. He's going to kill a ton of drones in the main now.
You know, despite all odds, he's kind of starting to soften Curious up a little bit. Curious sending some Zerglings across the map, but I think this is kind of a desperation attempt here. Well, just needs to get some breathing room right now.
Monster with a heavy supply lead now, but still, he's only ahead 3 workers. Monster's only had 3 workers, and Curious still has that double production. So with those spines there, if he didn't have the spines, then Monster might just overwhelm him and kill him. But since he has those spines, he can never do that.
It's another one of those situations, too, where I believe, Curious doesn't have any queens right now. He just has 12 drones and 5 overlords. That is it. Oh, he's actually just going to wall off his ramp. That is really smart.
Yeah, smart, but so risky to move spines at a time like this.
Yeah.
That was a risky move, but it is going to pay off.
Well, he knew he had to do something. Looks like he's not going to wall off completely here. He's just going to try to reposition them a little bit better, and I do like that idea.
Yeah, the queen going to pop in between here. I like that a lot.
Yeah, that is a really nice little wall out there. The spines are going to be able to take down the Banelings pretty easily. Oh, Zerglings get by, though, and get the surround on the queen. And all the Banelings getting in the base. This is going to be very hard for Curious to handle. Although
only 2 in here with good drone splitting. He shouldn't be able to kill very many maybe about 3 or 4 drones total. Wow, look at that split.
Man.
And gets 1 drone, that's it.
Yeah. I can't believe how long Curious is surviving. This is really, really amazing play from Star Child.
Well,
Curious.
you know, one thing that Curious has going for him is if this continues for much longer, then eventually Monster's going to be mined out in his main base.
Yeah, no kidding.
I mean, this is the longest low-tier ZVZ I think I've ever seen 12 minutes in here, and both players less than 15 drones.
There was...
Ooh, targeting down a drone.
And, yeah, getting a few drones there.
Yeah, getting 3 drones, in fact.
Trying to think of the longest low-tier ZVZ I've seen. I think it was a game way back when between, I believe it was Morrow and Mad Frog on Blistering Sands.
Oh, I remember that game.
It's like 36 minutes of
Was that
Zerglings
IEM?
I can't remember where it was from exactly. It may have even just been like a practice game, I think. It may not have even been a serious game, but you just made me think of that, Wolf.
Well, right now, Monster is just, you know, he's so all in. It's like the battle of macro versus cheese almost essentially here. I mean, we've got Monster just trying his hardest to finish this game off. I mean, this is not a cheese build, but it's definitely an all-in.
Here we go. More Banelings coming in right now, and the Zerglings are going after the Spine Crawlers this time.
If he can kill these spines, he's going to win this game.
Oh, absolutely, Wolf. And I think he's going to get at least, well, I was going to say 2, but looks like only 1.
Oh, a little bit of hesitation there from Monster. Could have killed those other spines, I think.
Oh, look at that. Curious going for the counterattack at, I think, the perfect time right now.
The Queen's almost with enough energy for Transfuse. Now there's 1 Transfuse available.
Yep. Let's see what happens. Let's see if these Zerglings can be successful. Doesn't look like they'll be able to be.
No, it doesn't look like it. There's just too many units for Monster at the top of that ramp.
Yeah.
I think Monster actually could have won the game if he just targeted down the spines and then went for 1 more attack afterwards.
You know, it's weird to say that because you usually never want to do that in ZVZ, but it's totally true. Yeah, in this weird particular case, that would have been right.
Well, right now, Curious has been able to drone up a little bit. He's at 16 to 14. He's ahead. He's starting to get that lead because Monster's no longer able to put pressure on him right in his face.
Yep.
But here's another very strong attack. There's a lot of Banelings.
Yeah, and 1 Spine Crawler down for Curious, though. So he is going to have to defend all that much harder. If Curious wins this, this will be one of the most impressive ZVZs I've ever seen.
And, you know, I have to say, if Monster wins this, I'll be impressed with his all-in, man. I mean, it would be a very well-microed all-in to come back and win this against all odds at cross positions on this map, you know?
I know, yeah.
Here we go. This may be the final attack. There's 3 Queens out now.
Yeah, things are looking okay for Curious. The Banelings change everything so rapidly. Nice transfuse on that 1 Queen, keeping it alive. And
Curious's units are always like running away in a different direction to try to buy time.
Yeah. So weird. Oh, they get a nice round in that Queen.
But losing a lot of Zerglings and Banelings as well to those spines during that time. At the
down to just 1.
This just may not end, man.
Oh,
that was a nice hit there.
Yeah. Definitely beneficial.
The problem is, even though he can keep Curious's Zergling numbers down, the spines and the Queens are always going to be there. He can never kill all of them.
And you notice he's slowly adding on drones, too. He's adding on like 1 drone at a time, and that is going to really win him the game here in about 2 or 3 minutes if he manages to survive.
Well, if this continues to scale like this, it might be 10 more minutes.
Doesn't give up. Yeah, that's true, too.
Here we go, another attack from Monster. This time no units to buffer for Curious because he's going for a counterattack.
Yep. And here we go. Zerglings.
Oh, look at this. Curious' own Banelings getting taken out.
Wow, take out a lot of Zerglings from Monster as well. But here's the counterattack. GG. And Curious. Wow, that was an impressive ZVZ. That was one of the best defenses I've ever seen.
Yeah, and a really nice attack by Monster.
Yeah,
imagine if that were not cross positions.
Oh, I know.
Wow, I'm just like amazed that game went on actually for 17 minutes.
Yeah.
And he just sneaked out the drones and eventually was able to get his own Baneling nest. And that was key in that defense as well.
Stone Cold Killer, right there. Not the player killer, Stone Cold Killer, yeah.
That was a Stone Cold Killer, man. And saw Curious's face afterwards too. He cracked his knuckles and just...
That's right. Cracks his knuckles. He like takes off the blood-stained gloves and like throws them down. You know.
He was like coaches and he's like, "Are you ready for the next map?" Curious is like, "I don't even know what the next map is." He just like looks back at the screen.
Like, cracks his neck, bone muscles, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean he's ready.
He is ready. Well, the next map is going to be Daybreak. I'm ready to get right into it. I don't don't even want to talk about it. I just want to see the game, man. It's one of those situations where it's like I don't want to analyze. I don't even want to like recap. I just want to see the next game. It's like Linak versus MVP. All those games where it's going to be hard to come close to those anytime soon. But I had the same feeling watching those. I'm like, just start the next game already. Come on.
I'm ready, man. I mean, after that game was just so tense. It was a nail biter.
Oh, I know.
And I actually, to be honest, and you guys probably all at home felt this way as well, I thought this match would be kind of the most boring match of the night. It's like two players who aren't like fan favorites, and Curious is well favored. I mean, like you saw 80% there on that predictions, and it's like, no, this isn't going to be that exciting, but that was exciting.
Yeah.
Monster showing his stuff.
Absolutely. I mean, both these guys played well. Looks like we're in for a pretty good series. And, sometimes people kind of knock ZVZ. There's even certain pro gamers that refuse to play ZVZ. It is probably... it's a very difficult mirror matchup. It's got a lot of randomness in it. It's just really, really crazy. And so when you see a player that consistently wins in ZVZ, I think that's just extra impressive.
No, it really is. I mean, you see a few players like that, like Nesty, like Demaga, and like Curious.
Yeah.
It's really impressive to see. Well, our map is up and loaded. Are you ready, Doa?
I'm ready. Are you ready, Wolf?
I'm so ready.
All right. Let's do it. This is the GSL.